twice or whatever it is. So my name's Matt. I run the budget website, the Matt and I teach people how to travel the world on a budget. And according to this lovely PowerPoint today, I'm going to tell you how to get ahead in saturated mix. Start a little bit about me. Well, let's start on this one. So as Bill said, about 2006, I started traveling the world because I got sick of my job. I was not an English teacher. I was actually working in healthcare in a cubicle. And I had a really boring job. There were 4 people in my office. They were all old. The youngest person there. They were all over 50. Which at the time, being 22 was kind of old. And I went on a trip to Thailand, and I met these 5 backpackers. They were like living my dream. They were traveling on a budget, and they were like going up for a year. And there were 3 Canadians and 2 Belgians, and they kind of made fun of me for using my 2 weeks vacation in January for the rest of the year. Like, well, what are you gonna do the rest of the year? You gonna like stay home? And I was like, I guess so. And the Canadian guy laughed at me, and I said, yeah, but I'm not Canadian. But that inspired me to realize, like, hey, all I've been wanting to do is travel, so these people are living my dream, so I'm going to quit my job and travel. So in 2006, I went off for what was supposed to be a year-long trip around the world, and then I came home 18 months later. Realized, shit, working in an office really does suck. So I'm going to do what only made sense to me at the time. I bought a one-way ticket back to Europe. And in 2008, I started my blog. This thing right there. Wait, I have a laser pointer. That thing right there.
Thank you.
And originally it was a way to try to find freelance travel writing work. I was like, what can keep me traveling on the road that seems cool? Being a traveler. The goal was never to be nomadic Matt. It was never to like have lots of readers. I wanted to write Lonely Planet guidebooks. Also, I wanted to show my mother I was alive and not dead in a ditch somewhere. She kept on asking me. So I started this blog in 2008, and I moved back to Southeast Asia to teach. And over the couple of years, I really didn't do much with it. But I started, like, suddenly people were wondering, like, well, how do I travel the world? Like, how did you make friends? How did you not end up in a ditch? How did you find a cheap flight? Like, are hostels safe? Like, how do you not lose all your stuff? So I started blogging more about this. And at the time, there wasn't a lot of travel blogs on the internet. So I had the fortune of starting early. I don't hide that fact. It was very helpful. But over the last 8 years, travel blogging has really taken off. And there are thousands of blogs. I mean, isn't this really the dream? Get paid to travel the world. Who here does not want to get paid to travel the world? Right, exactly. Nobody raised their hand. Everybody wants to get paid to travel the world. But over that time, and now as people have said, I get 1.3 million visitors a month, 3,000 page views, I have tons of followers. I've grown my site into the largest travel blog on the net. And a lot of people say, well, you started early. But that is not the case. I have seen people come and I've seen people go, and I've seen people in the last year, really expand, and get as much traffic as I have, more money than I have, and just like blossom like no tomorrow. But today what I want to talk about, long and short of it, is 5 ways you can get heard in a saturated niche, right? If you don't have the advantage of starting 8 years before everybody else gets on, like, oh, I want to have a travel blog. What can you really do? So Today I want to talk about these 5 things you can do that separates you from everybody else. Tip number 1, niches are important. So when I started, there weren't that many people. And so I could be nomadic Matt. Like, my blog is how to travel the world on a budget. But that's a very general blog. I cover a lot of ground. I have multiple destinations. I cover pretty much the world. And that works for me because I started 8 years ago. Nowadays, in a hyper niche environment where so many people are blogging, whether it's travel or fashion or starting a YouTube channel, because we've all watched Casey Neistat, and we're all like, dude, that guy. Everyone's like, I want to get on this. The internet is the thing. Being a general, person doesn't make sense anymore. You got to be focused. You got to be specific. Be an expert in Turkey. Be an expert in a certain kind of fashion. There's a girl here who looks like Joan Jett. She should be an expert in goth or Joan Jett fashion, if that's a thing. The point is, you got to be narrow. And narrow works to your advantage because now the internet is so fractured into hyper communities, and Google is so great that everybody is searching for everything. I always tell people that if your blog is about fly fishing in Alaska, you can kill it, because how many people want to go fly fishing in Alaska? Raise your hand. Okay, nobody here. But how many people do you think every year want to go fly fishing in Alaska? Millions. Millions of people. So if your blog is only about that small thing, you might think, whatever. But it's going to kill it in search. You can create a community around that nobody else is doing. I have a friend who focused specifically on Cabo. Her blog was called the Cabo Blog. It was really a shitty name, the Cabo Blog. Like Cabo San Lucas, like Cabo, they call it Cabo. But because her blog was so focused, she ranked well in Google. Everyone knew her as the authority in that field. And how many people go to Cabo every year? Millions of people. So instead of trying to be everything to everybody, be everything to just a little people. Be everything to just a small amount of people, and you will see a lot more success. And I think everybody tries to replicate everybody else. Like, I want to be like Mike, I want to be like Tim Ferriss. I want to be the next Lonely Planet. I want to be the next Casey Neistat.
The next Gary Vaynerchuk.
The next Gary Vaynerchuk. Or Lai Topaz. They want to be Lai Topaz. But what? Ali Gmail. But don't try to be the next person. Be the opposite of that person. Because those people are always, they cast a wide net. If you cast a smaller net, you'll catch more fish. The next one, even though I'm an expert, this is kind of what I was alluding at before. But Neville, who came up here, interviewed me. He asked, what's the one thing you do that people in your industry don't do? My dad has come to events like this. So I go to a lot of non-travel conferences. I go to VidCon, I go to Mastermind Talks, Summit at Sea, FinCon, SumoCon. I go to all these places where nobody else in my industry goes. Because if I go to a travel conference, it's great. I get to see my friends, I get to talk to people in my industry, and I love talking travel. So we have drinks and it's all fun. But everybody knows who I am, everybody knows who everybody else is, we're all known quantities. But when I go to an event like this, or if I go to something like FinCon or SumoCon, everyone's like, what do you do? I work in travel. Oh, that's cool. Tell me about your stuff. Because everyone else is coming from different industries. So I am the only representative from travel. So I become the de facto guy for travel for all these people. I go to so many mastermind and internet marketing conferences and conferences on non-travel. I get quoted in their blogs. I get guest posts. I ended up on For Our Work Week. I ended up on Mixergy and Entrepreneur on Fire and all these non-travel websites that expanded my reach exponentially because I stopped going to where the people I knew were. Because everyone goes to that. We have a natural inclination to go hang out with like-minded people. Humans have a herd mentality. Wow, I love travel, all these people love travel, I'm gonna go hang out with them. But, if I go hang out with these people, they don't know fuck all about travel. So I become the de facto travel person. So if you, like, this is like my best tip, is go where everyone else is not going, and become that person for everybody else. I am the travel guy for so many internet-related people that when they need something, they come to me. It's because I laid the foundation by stepping outside of my area of expertise. Well, I'm gonna have to sip of this little adult beverage. Wet the palate. Tip number 3. So I'm a blogger. I love words. I went to this think tank today. They were telling me all about how I should get more personal and like do Snapchat and stuff and Facebook Live. And I used to have a YouTube channel. I hate YouTube because you stick a camera in front of my face, like this guy right here. I like words, but what people do is they stick to their own medium. They're like, I want to be a blogger, all right? I want to help people travel, so I'm just going to do what everybody else does and blog. But if you sort of go the other way with it and find a different medium, a different platform, and then use that to piggyback on your main platform, you can get a lot more notoriety from that. So we started with Simple Green Smoothies, right? Simple Green Smoothies, these 2 women, they started, they talk about smoothies and healthy living. They built up a 350,000 person email list through Instagram.
Wow.
Right? Just through Instagram. Having these great photos, I'm going to use this pointer. These great photos, and they have these like 30-day challenges, and you all go back to the link, and you're like, sign up. Think about the food space and the healthy living space. Everyone's going to blog. They all sell here's my food course, here's my cleanse program. They're all going through the same medium. Food is very visual, right? Everyone how many people, you go to work, and everyone's like, hold on, I can't eat this taco, I have to take a picture of it. Right?
Hey, Jamie. Say hey to Jamie. Jamie's on here. Say hey, Jamie.
There's actually a study done by a restaurant
Jamie
where service has slowed down, and watching the tapes, they had found that people were taking longer to eat because they were on their phone and Snapchatting and all that.